I really fucking love snacks.
Hello and welcome to Snack Time. I'm your host, Lindsay Adams, and I have Sugar Bear who peed on my bed. Say hi, Sugar Bear. Well, you won't be able to see it unless you're watching the video, which you should. How about now? Okay, fuck you, you stupid bitch. What a way to start this podcast. Anyway, thank you for listening and being my friend and subscribing and all that good stuff. Leave a review on Apple. Are you supposed to say this at the end? Okay, anyway, I'm excited for our guest today because he's so funny and he's on a show that's coming out and he loves wrestling, which is and VHS tapes, and all of those things are forgivable. But please welcome Matt McCarthy.
Oh, hi, friends.
Oh, hi.
Well, hello there.
Welcome to Snack Time Podcast. I know you've been dying to do it.
Yeah, thanks for having me. Finally.
I mean, you're welcome. If you guys can't see the background, if you're listening, of Matt's, was that your office?
Yeah, this is my office.
It's covered in VHS paraphernalia.
And that's just this corner.
Right. Right. You're a big fan of VHS tapes.
Yes, this is one of my self-care activities. I enjoy a big video collection.
Do you ever repair the tapes? Have you gotten into that aspect?
Yes, I have alcohol right here that if a tape, the actual magnetic tape, this is one of the things that VHS has over DVDs or Blu-rays, because once one of those gets scratched or it's a lot rarer, but they can get wet and start to rot. There's nothing you can do. With a VHS, if it breaks, you can tape it. If it gets moldy, you can clean it.
Interesting.
Yeah.
What about if it gets really crinkled? I have these old mini tapes of me wasted, and I bought a VCR at a thrift store at one point and was like, I'm gonna see if I can watch them. And then it was a lot of static and blue.
Yeah, it depends. Sometimes things are beyond repair. Sometimes, my experience is sometimes tapes that are a little crinkly, through playing them, you can kind of smooth them out again.
Interesting.
Also, when they're rewound or fast forward, they get a little tighter on that spool, and it can help flat them out a little bit.
I didn't know that was a thing. So we're learning this.
We're learning.
This is great. We're learning. And this is actually, I try to make this a somewhat informational podcast where we get a little bit of food history. We get a little bit of having sex with food. We get a little bit of everything. So yeah. I'm excited because you chose, I also love that you stood your ground with this. So your snack is Handi Snacks with the red stick, correct?
That's right. That was my absolute favorite when I was a kid. There was no getting around it.
Give me that. So was that in your lunchbox? Did your mom buy it for you? Did you have to trade for it?
That was in my lunchbox. This goes this predates even having a lunchbox. This was this nursery school snack. This was
shit.
This was before even attending school. I remember having this snack, and it was this was the biggest deal. Yeah, I would go with my mom to either Almax or Star Market in beautiful, scenic, sunny Rhode Island, and that was all I wanted. And it's a cracker, it's cheese, it's got the little stick. You spread the cheese on the cracker. You can also just eat the crackers dry, just scoop the cheese into your mouth, all sorts of things. And then you have a little red stick to play with when it's all done.
Yeah, but don't you feel like that red stick is a choking hazard? I don't have kids and I know nothing about children, but I just feel like preschool is early for that, isn't it?
It must be, but clearly they have not. They must have never have run into a problem because they're still making it. And today,
Yeah.
more than ever, they will change stuff at the drop of a hat if there's going to be a problem or a pushback.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, here's the thing. We all chewed on that fucking stick.
Sure.
And that's the truth. And I chew on everything. Were you a stick chewer? I actually have never met anyone who has never chewed on the stick.
I was, yeah, for sure. But I feel like also it was also good, like a sophisticated 5-year-old pretending it's a cigarette, that type of thing too was
Oh,
definitely big in the 80s.
damn. That actually, I would have never thought that. I did that with incense. I like,
Sure.
I grew up around like my mom and her friends were hippies. And so my friend and I used to take the incense
Yeah.
and be like, this is our me. Um,
Sure. I mean, pretzel sticks was always the best because you could bite the end of
oh,
it, and so it would get shorter
yeah.
and shorter as you're smoking it.
Wait, that's so true.
Yeah.
How sick is that?
Yeah.
Maybe that's an idea that I haven't thought of that almost every kid has probably used some sort of food as a fake cigarette.
I mean, maybe not as much now, but for sure, like when I was a kid, they
Sure.
clearly made smoking look cool to
Well,
children.
yeah. I mean, even when I was a kid, they made it look cool. And there was like the commercials. And also, it's like you would see teenagers or
Yeah.
young people that you wanted to be like smoking. And so it was like, well, yeah, obviously, I want to be older and cool and like all the stuff.
Oh, for sure.
So,
Yeah. So
yeah.
those, I mean, and then they changed them, but like they had the candy cigarettes.
Oh, I remember. Yeah, for
Yeah.
sure.
You can still get
Those
the
are
crummy
ultimate.
ones. Yeah, you can get the crummy ones that's just like the white candy, but they used to
Hmm.
have the bubble gum inside like actual paper, and you could do it once. It was always good for one. You could blow out and like white powder would come out and it would look like smoke for like you got one good drag out of it.
That is so fucking cool,
Yeah.
actually. That is very Do you think kids use stuff as vapes now? Is that the transition?
Gosh, you might be right. Yeah. Like, do they pretend like a kazoo is a vape pen or something?
Exactly. Like a
Yeah,
harmonica is a vape.
right.
They're like, "Yeah, sick." Their eraser at school is
Oh
a
my
vape. I
god.
mean, now at
Yeah,
this point, there's like a vape shape for everything, and you could very easily just pretend anything is a vape. How sick.
I know. And I guess that's how they hook the kids on vape, where it's just like, oh well, it's not. It's how they hooked everybody on vaping. It's like, well, it's not bad for you. It's not like a cigarette.
Right. And it's like you still get the experience. I mean, I've had my own journey. Did you ever smoke?
Oh yeah, absolutely. Yeah,
Oh, okay. You smoked cigarettes. Great.
yeah,
I don't
yeah.
want to know anyone who hasn't. That's not true, but I like when people have had experience with that. Did you smoke in high school? When did you start smoking?
College.
Oh, okay. So like you were an adult, it was legal. It was just like
Yeah,
living your life.
maybe the very end of high school. I don't even. I think maybe after like high school graduation, maybe like that summer, is when
Yeah.
I first tried. I was certainly I was a lifeguard, and
Oh,
I don't remember if the person gave me cigarettes or if I swiped them. I probably swiped them. But I was just so I've been curious my whole life. I was just like, what is the big deal about cigarettes?
sure.
And then I went down to the reservoir near my house and just like smoked one and was just like, oh my God. And it was so windy. And I kept
Yeah.
thinking, like, oh my God, is the universe trying to stop me from doing this?
That's so funny.
You know,
Where did you grow up?
Rhode Island, in Rumford, Rhode Island,
Oh, sick. Okay, so East Coast. You
East Coast.
understood.
Yeah.
I forgot about what it's like to smoke a cigarette in the wind.
Right. Yeah. And it might have been a Marlboro Red too. And I was just like,
Woof.
it's a rough first cigarette.
It really is.
Yeah.
I started smoking Newports in rehab because we
Nice.
were at a rehab where you were allowed to smoke cigarettes if your
Yeah.
parents approved it.
Oh, wow.
So it was a juvenile rehab, and it was like used for a lot of like kids that got sentenced to rehab instead of like probation.
Yeah.
And they would be like, "Oh yeah, if you like it's crazy now in retrospect. They would let the kids smoke if their parents gave them permission. So there would be parents that would come by and drop off cartons of cigarettes for their kids
Wow.
for their like stay. And there was a girl also named Lindsay that was smoking Newports, and I started taking drags of that, and I was like, "Oh wow, this is incredible."
Yeah, I mean, the times that I've smoked mentholated cigarettes, I never enjoyed it as much. It felt like it felt like there wasn't as much smoke there or something. Like the coolness made it wasn't I was looking for that sensation of like that burn, that overwhelming like, but I mean, God, especially early on as a teenager, the buzz I would catch from
For sure.
mentholated cigarettes was just like outrageous.
Well, the menthol cigarettes were pretty busy destroying your lungs.
Yeah.
So it didn't have a lot of time to come out as like a good cloud of smoke because it was just kind of sitting in there,
Yeah.
building up and burning your insides. Which personally I enjoyed. They were like fiberglasses in Newports, and I was like, you
That's
know
they
what?
said.
That's fine. What is that? I was like, I'm
Right.
invincible.
I would make the same joke every time I dropped a cigarette, like on the ground or like if in a dirty bar. I
Yeah.
would always pick it up and be like, it's not going to get any worse for me.
Oh shit, that's a good joke.
Right.
I was actually really anti-smoking when I
Same.
was younger.
Yeah.
I was like vehemently. I think at one point I had like my step grandma was smoking, and I was like, you shouldn't smoke cigarettes. They're bad for you. And I like took one. And in retrospect, if a child ever did that to me, I don't know what I would have done.
Dude. No way.
I really don't. And like someone else, like we like fucked with someone else's cigarettes, like a member of like extended family, me and this other kid, and like they lost their fucking mind.
There was a girl I dated in high school that she was like, I knew kids who smoked and I didn't care, but like she was sneaking cigarettes and I saw some like in her bag or in her lock or something. And I felt like a level of betrayal, like she'd been cheating on me, Like I was just like,
That's
I
so
am
funny.
devastated that you have cigarettes. Yeah.
Yeah, you're a disgusting slob. Like if you
That's
smoked
right.
I was like, I was like, you're so gross. That's so trashy. And then in high school, someone stole a ring that I got on Canal Street in New York, $50 that I earned at a diner that I was working at, and a pack of Newports that I had just bought from my bag during gym class. And I held the entire gym class hostage in the girls' locker room until somebody gave me information. And then I
Wow.
did track her down, and then she
Wow.
did leave school.
Wow.
I know I was actually felt terrible because I was sober at the time, and I was like, fuck me. But, but that, yeah, I would have fucked. I mean, like they're circling back to the snack part of it, which by the way, the bounds are endless. We can just chit chat about truly anything. So I don't
Mhm.
want you to feel obligated. But food was a very good fake cigarette.
100% carrot sticks, celery, but especially like something you could bite into. That was what I always got off on the idea that like, the cigarette gets shorter the more you smoke it. So like you take a
Well,
little bite.
the breadsticks that they had for Handi Snacks, they had like different kinds.
That's right. I forgot about those.
And the
Yeah.
breadsticks were just like they were dipping. I mean, honestly, why don't they sell mini breadsticks like that on their own? It's kind of a question for me.
Uh, you can get something similar at Trader Joe's. It's I think they say it's a pretzel stick, but it's not like a actual it's not when I think of a pretzel stick, I think of like a rolled gold, whatever they're called, pretzel that has
Yeah.
seemingly been straightened. It's the
Yeah.
same. It's like a darker tan. It's got the little salt on it. But the ones
Yeah.
at Trader Joe's, it's got a picture of a weird dude, of course, because it's Trader Joe's,
Sure.
and they look like, you
Like
know,
Harry Henry's pretzels or something,
yeah,
like
they look like the
Poopy
little
Pete.
breadsticks in. I forgot about that. I don't know if the product was new or if it was just new to me, but like it felt like, when the breadsticks came out in the the Ritz cheese packet, I was so I wound up eating them, but I was so aghast that I was like, they have changed my favorite snack, and it almost made me not like the crackers and cheese as much anymore, because it was just like it was probably the first experience in my life of like, that's for the new generation. Like, this is I'm like, you don't understand what it was like for me when I was in
Yeah,
kindergarten.
sure. I mean, are you a saltines or Ritz cracker person?
If I had to choose, I guess I would do a Ritz cracker just because there's more going on, and
Okay, good.
I could eat a Ritz without anything on it for sure. Like a saltine, I feel like I'd need peanut butter or like meat or cheese or something on it.
Sure. I mean, I'll house a saltine, but Ritz crackers are the ultimate cracker without question.
Absolutely, it's just it's you don't need anything with it. I mean, the only situation I could even see having a saltine and not putting something on it is if I'm putting it into soup. You
Oh,
know,
yeah, I forgot that we can do that.
yeah.
They give you well, those are technically oyster crackers that they give you with stuff, which, like, to me tastes a little bit different.
I mean, the oyster crackers, I think of like the little tiny,
Little
they look like
little
little
holes.
stop
Yeah.
signs. Yeah.
Did you say little stop sign?
They
That's
look
an
like a little
octagon
stop
though,
sign.
right? Isn't it?
I wasn't
That's what it
sure, so I decided not to
you decided to
guess.
call it a stop sign. I
I
mean, I give misinformation constantly on this
Right.
podcast just based on guesses. So, and bad blogs that were written in 2003. Um, I'm like, "What are some facts?" And it's like a man in the middle of Minnesota who's just like, "You know what?" And I'm like, "All right, sick. Um, this company was started by Nazis. Excellent. I will use that." Um, but I will say in terms of I mean, things were very there was like a series of snacks that became very dippable. And I put this in the category of snacks, which I've talked about before, of interactive snacks and that making a difference in how good it was, in my opinion. Like it falls under the category of Dunkaroos and
Yeah.
shit like that.
Well, the handy pack was certainly, that's what it's called, right? I never
Handy
even remember
snacks.
handy snack. I was never even sure what it was called. I wonder, I tried Googling a picture of the package from like 1984 or 83 to see if they added the name later. It just was always just
Sure.
cheese and crackers to me.
That's what cheese
Uh
and crackers looked like to you, not
oh yeah.
Lunchables. Do they have Lunchables?
Lunchables came later for
Okay.
sure. And
Okay.
I remember when Lunchables coming out being like, "Oh, I got to get these for lunch." And my mother being like, "That is not a real meal, Matthew. That is a
Damn.
snack."
That's where she
Um,
drew the line.
yeah, big time. But what you're talking about is one of the big appeals for me, because you could eat it a different way every time.
Sure.
You know, you could
Sure.
you could make sometimes it felt wasteful. Like, I'm not gonna draw it out as much as I can, because I always liked making a snack last.
Right.
really, really sucking all the joy I could out of it.
Sure.
But
Sure.
sometimes just out of just to have the experience, eating it all at once, like making several layers sandwich with cracker, cheese, cracker, cheese, cracker, cheese, and
Oh,
just
several layer.
probably only did that once just to have done it, but it was not enjoyable because I'm like, it's over too quick. Even though it's the same
Yeah.
amount of food,
Sure.
it's too quick.
Yeah. I mean, I agree with that. I actually, when I was in Hawaii, no, not bragging, I fell down the stairs. When I was in Hawaii last week,
Yeah.
I went to like a grocery store there. They have like convenience stores called like ABC or something,
Uh-huh.
and they're only in Hawaii. I mean, I'm not positive, but we'll say that.
Always be convenient.
Yeah, great. Wait, I mean, maybe that is actually what they meant. I was just like,
Maybe.
alphabet, fun. Um, just like simple. There were these crackers there that were triple layer. It was like 3 crackers with 2 layers of filling, but they were filled with like sweet butter flavor and
Yeah.
like condensed milk. And I don't know if they had a savory flavor. They might have had a cheese flavor, but it was like the weirdest thing. But I just also looked at it and was like, wow, I've literally never thought about triple stacking crackers on top of each other like that.
Well, they say necessity is the mother of invention, and I'd say boredom is the father.
That's a
Just,
good call.
I'm just like, what can I do different this time? Gotta mix it up. Even as a kid, I'm like, this is getting very routine.
What other snacks did you grow up with? Like, obviously your mom had a line as to like what was appropriate, not appropriate, or
Sure.
whatever.
I mean, the other big one that goes hand in hand. I mean, I mean, it's your call. I don't know if you consider cookies a snack or if it's a
Sure.
dessert.
No, desserts are snacks. This is a hot button issue. To
Okay,
me, desserts are snacks.
I love it.
Yeah.
Did you know that? Did you know that Did you know that vegetables, like, it doesn't exist? It's actually like vegetable just means like any like plant you can eat.
What?
Like technically, like because somebody was like, "Well, tomatoes aren't vegetables; they're fruit," and then somebody
Yeah.
else made the point of like, "Well, there actually are no vegetables. It's just all like fruit are vegetables. It's all vegetables." Like because they were like, corn is a grain, fruit is, you know,
Right. So technically, everything that grows is a
that
vegetable.
you can eat as a vegetable. And then it suddenly made sense to me. I was like, "Oh my god, that's like the root word is veg edible, vegetable, a vegetation that
Oh.
is edible."
Wow. I mean, I've honestly never taken the time to think about that at all,
Me
ever.
neither. I had to be told.
Wow. This sounds like a pretty cool party convo.
Yes, when you are struggling at your next party, just be like, "Did you know that all of
Did you
these are
know that
vegetables?"
everything is a vegetable?
That's
It
right.
also sounds like something a vegetarian would say to
Oh
be
my god, sure.
like at a party and be like, it's great. Like, or you know what? No, it's the kind of thing where someone would take the opportunity if someone was eating an apple to be like, that's actually a vegetable.
Right. Yeah.
And then just wait for the person to be like, tell me why. Like,
No, go on, please.
oh, wild. That's like the worst. If people come up to you and you're like, and they're just like, and like, absolutely don't finish your sentence.
Oh my god. That happened to me after a show once. It was a mic too. I don't even know if it was a show, but
Oof.
somebody was like, "Can I?" How did he put it? I don't remember if he used the word pitch or note. He might have used the word note. He goes, "Can I give
No.
you a small note?" And I said, "Please don't."
Ah!
Yeah.
I like that. Like, I like when friends sometimes will be like, I thought of a tag for it. Do you want it?
That's the thing. This was not a friend nor somebody who I thought was very funny.
Yeah. I've never had a woman come up to me and do that.
Wow.
I've literally never had a woman. It's always a dude that's like, "Hey, can I give you a tag?" And I'm like, I mean, if I say no, you'll judge me. Well, that's on me, but I'll be like, I guess. And then their tag is like, "What you should do." And I'm like, I fucking hate you. My mom gives tags without realizing it. She does that. My mom's the only woman.
I would, to say should is so obnoxious.
Yes.
If I'm ever offering something, I always say, even on the show, and I very rarely would throw something out there just because they didn't hire me to do that. But they're very cool. I always say, you know, it might be funny.
Yes, it's always in that presentation.
Yeah.
It's always in that's the same approach that I have I mean, I literally never think of a tag that is good, but if someone's spitballing ideas with me, that's when I'm like, "Oh, you know what might be funny?" And then at least like I'm in a place with most of my friends where they're like, "No, I don't like that." And I'm like, "Great."
It's also more honest too, because it's like, we don't know if it would work.
Yeah.
You know, it's like, you know, it might be funny as if you tried X, Y, and Z.
100%. My mom will phrase it like that, but my mom is also like one of those people who comes up and like gives you the facts.
Oh, boy.
Like, you know what really happened? And I'm like, I don't care what really happened. Okay. Because in this scenario, I merged two truths. It's not a lie. It happened 10 years apart, and nobody needs to fucking know that.
I was at a thing and I was making a point and I mentioned something about C.S. Lewis. And then the next person to talk felt the need to say, just so you know, C.S. Lewis was a child molester, and then went on with their thought. And I was like, first of all, you're not supposed to do that. Second of all,
you're not supposed to do that.
Second of all, couldn't be less relevant to my point. And third of all, after I Googled it, it's not true. It's just in that time, the Victorian, whatever, a big part of artwork was paintings of kids who were naked. And
then having sex with them. Yeah.
Right. It didn't with the paintings. Yes.
Right. Sure. Yes. Sure.
Right.
I mean, whatever you could get your hands on at that point, it was kind of a free for all, pretty accepted overall.
It's your painting.
It was a different time.
It was a different time and a different place.
If you wanted to move forward with that, you could move forward with that.
Right. Oh,
okay, so I want to get into.
What I was going to say was the cookies that I used to like when I was a kid, like the Handi Snacks, and then the Keebler fudge stripes with the hole in the middle. You could put it on your finger. And when we had our small little rap party for How We Roll the other night, and Katie Lowe's, who's absolutely the best. I had been invited to her house once before, and I stopped to get gasoline, and I was like, I can't show up to somebody's house without something, so I bought Chips Ahoy cookies at the gas station.
Interesting.
And then the rap party was at her house, and I was like, well, I better bring cookies. But this time I went to Ralph's, and I was like, I'm going to get better cookies. And the fudge stripes were there, and I was like, oh, she's got a little boy, and this is the best. And we're sitting there, and the party's going on. Then he comes running up to me. He's wearing a Spider-Man outfit. Mad respect. And he says to me, and this is what he says to me, he goes, my mom said I could have one of these cookies. And I was like, good. And then I open it up, and I go, you know how to eat these, right? And he goes, and he puts up his finger. I put it on his
That's
finger.
the
Yeah.
cutest thing.
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
love that. It's kind of a boss move to bring something like that to a party, like to an adult party.
Well, I try to. I, I mean, more than anything else, I just want to be polite and here's something, but also like
Sure.
I don't want to bring something that's probably already going to be there or that's boring. It's just kind of that thing of like, well, I would want this, so here.
Yeah.
You
I'll
know,
bring candy or Oreos. Like straight up,
that's
I
nice.
normally bake something, but like
Yeah.
I've showed up to parties before with giant bags of candy and like Oreos.
Right.
And I feel like you can't really go wrong with that. Also, because like you don't have to worry about presentation. You don't have to worry. Like it's just a very fun. If there's a piece of
Right.
candy at a party, I will always grab it, specifically
Sure.
hard candy, but I will always grab it. And I feel like that is the best way to go. Get the fuck away from me, Sugar Bear. I hate you. I mean, I don't hate her, but I fucking hate her. Um, I fucking hate her.
Oh,
Um,
you're so conflicted.
I know I feel conflicted. I mean, I'm apparently according to the internet, I'm abusive to her, which is fine,
Right.
because
I liked the public amends you made on TikTok where you gave her a treat. You're like,
oh yeah. Yeah. I mean, look, if you want a proper amends, then I would have to properly hurt you first.
see, she doesn't
So,
crawl before anybody.
no, I would have to it would have to be a real hurt, which I would never do. But if it was this would go under the category in in 12 step, which I'm open about being in.
Mm,
Yeah, this would go fall under the category of not helpful to make this amends.
that's right. You're trying to make things right or even potentially better, but
Right.
why make it worse?
Exactly. Why
Yeah.
make it worse? I would say though, like in terms of like the Keebler cookies, I'm a sandwich cookie person like through and through.
Okay.
So I the fudge ones, which are kind of like Samoas, right? Have you had the Girl Scout cookies?
They are similar. Yeah, they're flatter. The Samoa has so much more going on. Absolutely.
Yeah.
But yeah, you're absolutely right. Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know which came first either. I feel like it was
Hmm.
the Keebler ones, and then Girl
Yeah,
Scouts
it's
were like, "What if
simpler.
we made it better?"
Right. This
Which
needs coconut.
yeah, they were like, "Let's fucking do it fun." But
Why
they're
are they
still
called
fine, and
Samoas? Is that cool? Are they allowed to do that? Feels like that's gonna.
honest
I bet you if somebody, if like Dwayne Johnson brings it up, it'll
okay,
have.
now I have to like, why
Why are
are
they called that?
these cookies called Samoas?
Because that's kind
Uh
of not cool if you think about it for 2 seconds.
No, I've thought about it for
Yeah.
longer than 2 seconds. Um, and okay, wait. Cookies are sold as Samoas. Wait, I guess caramel delights. Samoa cookies are oh, they had them in the 70s.
Oh wow. That'd be pretty
Yeah.
cool if like a Samoan Girl Scout is the one who came up with it.
It's yeah, okay, so it is named after the island of Samoa. Um, the cookie was named after that island because the use of coconut and
Mm,
coconut oil and their top exports of the company. But it's also another theory is that it's a play on the words like s'mores, but they like can't say s'mores with like the
Right.
apostrophe. So they invented I love that. Like, okay, I'm reading mashed.com currently. This is what I'm reading this from.
Uh-huh.
And they invented their own word to sound some more of, therefore Samoas. But it's like that, what? You did not invent the
That's
word Samoa.
it's a very old word.
So what they did is they got together and they were like, let's take this word that exists and invent it into the same word.
God. It's a very Girl Scout move.
It is a very Girl Scout move. Okay, so I want to play just true or false. I am toying with either playing two truths and a lie or true or false. And I decided true or false is more fun for this. So I'm going to give you a statement, and you have to tell me if you think it's true or false. And
Got
they're
it.
about Handi Snacks.
Ooh.
Okay.
Okay.
Yeah. These are like if you actually know the snack that you love. If you don't know the facts about the snack that you love, despite popular belief, you are bad. And you don't know anything. Normally, the rules of two truths and a lie is that you have to kill yourself if you don't get it right.
Okay.
But
I can
and then
if one of them is already if one of them is it possible to get all of the cheese out of the cheese compartment? I already know that is false because I have tried.
Yeah, it's true. It crinkles.
Yeah.
That's the thing about it too, is it crinkles and then you have to literally lick it inside. And it's like it feels wrong. It's not correct. And also, as an adult, have you had a Handi Snack, by the way?
Certainly within the last 5 years, I must have at some point. We must have gotten them for either my son or was in a situation maybe at like, my brother's house if they had them for their kids for sure. And it was good. It wasn't great, but it was good.
Yeah. I mean, I think that it's bad. I don't think it's good.
There's definitely better cheeses in the world right now.
I like spreadable cheese, but I like a pub cheese.
You took the words out of my mouth. Yes.
Yeah. Yeah. The adult version is pub cheese.
Yeah.
And pub cheese, part of what's so great about it is that instead of the tiny little hole filled with cheese, you get a literal tub of it.
That's right.
And it's just endless. I've eaten it with a spoon. I don't give a fuck.
Yeah. I've recently, within the last few weeks, have Googled how long after the expiration date is pub cheese good.
I think it's good forever. You know what? I just assume with so many of America's processed
Very
foods,
processed, yeah.
that we've processed them to the point where you can probably eat them for months after the expiration date.
I think so. I mean, there was like condensation had built up inside. It was just like the water was starting to separate from the cheese or something, and I was just like,
okay.
I'm not crazy about having a wet cheese and crackers, but
right.
I barreled through it. Don't worry, I suffered through.
Yeah. Well, thank God.
Yeah.
I've used eggs a month after their expiration date.
Well, those you put it in water, right?
Right. Yeah. You can test
Foolproof.
it. Also, you can open an egg and smell if it's rotten.
I suppose it would have my mother would always, whenever I was like, is this milk bad? Like, I can't tell. And she's like, if it was bad, you wouldn't be able to put your face near it.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, milk doesn't smell great to begin with. So, and it's the same thing with it's the same thing with meat, like raw meat. Like, have you ever smelled chicken that you just got at the grocery store and been like, is this still good? And then you smell it and it's like, I think it just smells bad.
Yeah.
But it smells like, it also smells like chlorine. So
which I love which is actually my favorite smell.
It is my favorite smell. Yes. Okay. So
I'm serious.
here's your first. Wait, is it really?
It's just from growing up, like swimming all the time at like the YMCA, just that bleach, like chlorine
Oh.
smell is it's just a comforting, familiar smell. Yeah.
Okay. Actually, yes. I think YMCA chlorine is a different smell from outside chlorine, though,
It might
because it's
be.
thicker. It's a thicker smell.
Yeah. That's for sure. I have put chlorine into swimming pools when I was a lifeguard, and it's much, yeah, it's got a more viscous base than your average Clorox bleach.
Were
But we
you
did like
on?
when the pandemic started, Glennis had the great idea. She got an inflatable pool for the backyard, like a nice one from Target. And I
Right.
made that thing last 2 summers, and I Googled it. I was like, I'm gonna treat the water. I got like borax, I got chlorine, I got like the little chlorine tester, the pH balance tester. It's somewhere in this room. And I
Right.
was in it, and it was the best. But yeah, putting a cup of chlorine and bleach in it at night, and then I would cover it and stuff. That
Wait, so
became
were you,
my
like, on swim team too? Like, what was
yeah.
your whole,
I was on the swim
like.
team in high school. Yeah. I was gonna my parents were my dad especially was very like, you should get on the swim team at Fordham, when I went to college. And I went to the, physical to try to walk on the swim team, and they thought I had a heart murmur. I didn't, and I don't, but there was, like, and I still have it. It's like this thing where, like, sometimes, like, if this is my heart, like, the beat is supposed to be initiated by this muscle, but
Yeah.
sometimes the beat starts in this muscle and then goes to the other muscle. And so when you're listening to it, it sounds irregular, but
Right.
it's just the way it is.
Interesting.
Yeah, very.
I was on swim team too when I was younger because, I was a bigger kid, and it was the
Yeah.
only sport that was low enough impact that I was like, "I can fucking do this. I could get my body through water. Are you fucking
Uh-huh.
kidding me? This isn't running. I'm a genius." Um, okay, here's your first true or false statement.
Okay.
There are 5 different current varieties of Handy Snacks.
False?
You're correct.
Oh,
You are
thank God.
correct, sir. Yeah, there are 4 current ones. S'mores Handy Snacks are no longer available, which I completely forgot about
Yeah. Right. My
until
God.
until I looked it up. I was like, "Oh, of course. The sweet flavors were my favorite."
Right. That's right. That's crazy. Do you have it in front of you? What are the 4 varieties?
Yeah, so well, what the other thing that's interesting about them is that they tend to use more, like, brand name. So they have Oreo Handy Snacks,
Yeah.
they've got Ritz Handy Snacks, and they've got Premium, which is, I think that's, like, the brand that they use. I think Premium is, like, actually a brand for saltines, but those are the
Right.
breadsticks.
Okay.
And then they have Mr. Salty is the name of the pretzel kind.
Okay. All right.
And so the one that and, like, it's, like, obviously Kraft or it's, like, Nabisco, which I think is the same thing as Kraft, but, like, Nabisco is, like, jerking itself off with, like, its other products and being like, "Oh, we own Oreos, we own Ritz, we" like,
Yeah.
all that shit. Which I actually find really funny because it's like literally no kid, unless it's Oreo. Oreo is different, but no kid is like, excuse me, is this
Right.
Mr. Salty brand
Yeah.
pretzel? Also, I don't I've never
Oh,
seen them in
this
my
is
fucking life.
generic salty pretzel, mother.
Right, exactly. Like send it back. Um, okay, here's your next question.
Okay.
Handy Snacks are owned well, wait, I just fucked this up because I just said it was owned by Nabisco. It's true. Okay, it's true.
True.
Tie me to the. Are they owned by Nabisco?
True.
Sick.
2 for 2.
Great. So you're killing it. And the third question is, the red sticks from Handi Snacks have been removed.
Oh. No, false.
It's true.
They got rid of the sticks, so kids were
They got
choking
rid of
on
the
them, huh?
sticks. Well, no, it wasn't because of that. It was plastic waste. So it was more like
Oh.
like a recyclable scenario, or like a scenario where they were like, this is wasteful plastic that we don't want to put into the environment, blah, 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 blah.
And
So
we saved $93 million a year.
yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. Well, my question though now I'm like tempted to buy it, but my question would be, did they widen the little container filled with cheese? Because if I remember correctly, you couldn't really get the full cracker in there.
Right. You know what? Something inside of me is saying that they did widen it.
Yeah.
Uh,
I mean, I don't know factually. This is just a question I'm throwing out. If
I
anybody
feel like they did.
listening, yeah, if anybody listening knows, hit up the Discord and let me know, and I will look at it and give a thumbs up.
It's like wild when they widen the mouth of like every like it started with beer, and then all of a sudden the canned sodas also had the wide mouth, and now that's just the standard.
Right.
You know,
Right.
it's
No,
crazy to think
exactly.
of how small like the opening was on canned beverages for the longest time.
You have to really suck it out.
You had to want it.
Well, it's also like, I mean, we're so like now eating everything is about how much you can like fit in your mouth at once. And it's like they
Sure.
really just, I think like snack companies initially were like, people like to take their time. And they were like, you know how we sell more is if nobody breathes between servings
Right.
and they're able to fit everything in their mouth at once.
Man. It is so fun. Like I'm sure I can think of, at least in my lifetime, the changes they made to Handi Snacks, or the changes they made to any product that I enjoy or enjoyed, because it's just, especially when you're a kid, when there are subtle changes to any product,
Right.
I would notice it, and for sure part of me would feel like betrayed, or it's not the
Yeah.
same. It's not, I can't enjoy it as much now. It's different. It's over.
It's different. We hate it. I mean,
Yeah.
I'll say this, like in a lot of the situations where these snacks have been changed in some way,
Yeah.
people like will start petitions to
Right.
get it back. Like they
Yeah.
really are like, this is super fucked up. I'm fucking done with this. Um, People write like bad reviews and shit like that. Like I feel like I love looking at 1-star reviews for like packaged food, because I'm just like, sometimes they have it on Amazon and it has to do with like shipping and stuff like that. And then sometimes it's like people being like, this tastes different. Yeah, see,
Yeah.
here we go. There's someone on Target's website for Handi Snacks. The breadsticks are strangely sweet and do not taste good with the cheese dip. Like, babe, this is not the place.
You're making it Target's problem.
Yeah, like this is not the place to complain about this snack that you tried.
God.
But it always fucking makes me laugh. Also, if you want a real hoot, next time you look up a recipe online that has any sort of star rating, look at the
Yeah.
1-star recipe reviews, because they are chef's kiss beautiful.
Okay.
That's my hot tip. So I want to get into fuck, marry, kill Polly. for snacks.
Okay.
Just in case you're listening for the first time, or just to give Matt a little bit more info. Sorry, I was just checking my cat's ass to see if she did things properly. Anyway, I'm now back onto the food conversation. Polly, and I don't judge non-monogamous relationships. However, I'm not mature enough. So I'm going to go ahead and say that. But so poly, you know what polyamorous means, obviously.
Yes.
You're not an idiot. You're not a stupid dumb.
Not a
So
big stupid idiot.
essentially, this is the way that poly works in this game. Your primary is your married partner. And then your poly partner is somebody that you value more than who you would fuck, but is not your primary. So you can see them as little or as often as you like. And look, who knows? I mean, maybe your married partner is poly and you want to mush them together. I don't judge you. You get to do whatever you want. So that's the rules. So we've got 3 different categories for fuck, marry, kill, poly. I'll start with this one that I did for you. VHS home movie snacks. I mean, I just guessed, but here you go. Here are your choices. Kettle corn, peanut M&Ms in a bowl, loose Twizzlers, and Junior Mints.
Peanut M&Ms, Mary.
Okay.
Loose Twizzler, Polly.
Okay.
Fuck Junior Mints and kill the kettle corn popcorn trash.
What? What do you have against kettle corn?
The texture, the taste, they also insist on offering like pickle flavored goddamn popcorn. The sweet is not sweet enough. The salty is wrong. And above all else, I saved the best for last. Kettle corn popcorn has the highest rate of getting the kernels stuck in my gums. Like more than any microwave popcorn or smart food or any of it. Absolutely.
Yeah, I mean, that's not a scientific fact.
They proved it in a lab with animals subjects. They did it with mice.
This has been tested on animals, and by animals I mean humans.
They tested on animals, and that's how you know it's good.
Yeah, exactly, because they ate it right up. Okay, I couldn't disagree with you more on kettle corn. I think kettle corn has an incredible texture when done correctly, and the salty sweet is actually a beautiful taste.
I like salty sweet, but I hate the way that the kettle corn does it. I don't like the texture. It feels like regular popcorn is like, like when the Incredible Hulk, like his clothes would start to rip when he was turning into the Hulk.
Yeah.
That's what it feels like. There's like those weird lines on the kettle corn. It's like they've done something to what is in this kettle? What did they do to this corn?
Sugar. It's candied corn.
Yeah, I don't like that.
Okay. I mean, that's bananas. But you love peanut M&Ms.
I would rather eat candy corn than candied corn.
Whoa, that is a strong statement. I would eat candy corn regardless, but I would also eat kettle corn any day of the week. It's one of my favorites.
I just don't. It's just
So you don't feel how do you feel about, like, they do stuff where they do, like, chocolate drizzled popcorn, like, fun flavors and stuff? You said you're not into it, like,
No, it
dill
just
or
I just
dill pickle.
no, no, God, no. The kettle corn, man. I feel like I'm like I just have this mental image of just being in someone's apartment and that's all they have. And I'm like, like their refrigerator is gross on the inside and
What?
their toilet's too small. Yeah, there's like,
I mean, this is so dramatic and inaccurate
that's,
because
it's a whole thing.
no, you know what I love doing? One of my favorite things to do when I go to the movies is I like to bring with me 2 different types of, like, popcorn seasoning, like the kind that you buy at the store,
Sure.
and then I split up my popcorn in a box and in the bin,
Yeah.
and I cover it in butter, and then I do 2 different flavors. And if everyone thought the way that you did as, like, a quote unquote purist or whatever, then we would never have these fucking beautiful shakers filled with nacho cheese or ranch flavoring or kettle corn flavoring.
Oof.
I mean,
Oof.
yeah, it's trash. It's a and also, I mean, I had a big argument on social media with whoever is the community manager for Junior Mints, but they fucking suck. They taste disgusting. They're not good. I know that people disagree, but there's not a planet where Junior Mints are like the thing I would ever spend my money on. I wouldn't even fuck them. I would kill
Yeah, they're at best okay. I mean, it's
but you would
just
fuck it. Do you just hate having sex? Do you just hate good sex? Or like what's your you said you would fuck a Junior Mint. Is that just because you hate kettle corn so much?
that's right.
Damn.
I hate kettle corn so much it'll make me fuck a box of Junior Mints. That's right.
Okay, fair. I would marry the Twizzlers. I would poly with the kettle corn. Actually, no, I take that back. I would marry the fucking kettle corn. I would poly with the Twizzlers.
You're so reactive.
I mean, look, I am so lit right now. That's not how you use lit. No, well, that's fine. I'm not drunk. I'm excited. That's a good use of lit.
There you go.
So I would marry the kettle corn. I would poly the Twizzlers. I would fuck the peanut M&Ms in a bowl. Do you dump them out if you're eating them at home, or is that only for parties?
I feel like that's only for parties because I you know what it is when it's still in the package, I can fantasize that there's more left than there actually is.
Sure,
You know
sure.
what? If
I
they're
like
all
to
in the
dump
bowl,
it
I have
out.
yeah, it's too much of an indicator of like I've you can see there's less and less, which is I'd like the fantasy that there's more to be had.
Sure. I like to know what I'm working with so I can pace myself appropriately.
Right. See, I lie to myself so that I can continue to enjoy it because it's like Sunday afternoon. It's like waking up on a Sunday morning and like I have to go to school on Monday, and it's just I'm not going to enjoy any moments on Sunday because of that fact.
Mm, interesting.
Yeah,
Okay. Okay. That's fair. I
yeah.
appreciate that. Yeah, and junior mints can be burned at the stake. Twizzlers also superior to red vines. What are your
Oh,
thoughts?
absolutely. Give me a break. It's such a. It's not even a. It's a non-conversation.
It shouldn't be a question, but you will not believe how many people I have had on here. I forgot who it was, justified it recently by saying, if you want, you can use it as a straw.
Okay.
Yeah, if you try hard enough, you can use a Twizzler as a straw.
Right. You can also
You just
take a
have to put the
you
work
can
in.
you can also take a McDonald's French fry, jam it in the straw, and try to drink your chocolate shake through it.
Ah!
These are all possibilities.
Oh my God. Yeah. I mean, I just think that's insane. And I have had this argument with so many people and they disagree. And I think it's because people's taste buds are broken sometimes. Um,
Yes.
I have no explanation for it. Okay, here's another category. This is what I wrote. Wrestling match snacks.
Okay.
Never in my life have I been to a wrestling match. So I'm not really sure what the snack bar looks like. So I really did just kind of like wing this. And I hope that I'm correct.
Let's see.
That okay. Here are your choices. A hot dog, which you got to be able to eat a hot dog during a wrestling match.
Correct.
Okay, great. Popcorn, normal popcorn.
That's right.
Great. Nachos
Sure.
and a soft pretzel.
That can happen.
Okay.
Yeah. If you're at
I guess
if you're at Staples Center, for sure, you can get a Wexel's pretzels or
sure.
yeah.
Okay.
That's
So
good.
all fairly accurate. Although okay, so yeah, you give me what your fuck Mary kill Polly is for these snacks.
Boy, this is tough. This is tougher. Hmm. This is tough. I'll say
You like all of these.
I like all these options. Yeah.
Okay.
I depending on how long the show is, I could wind up having all four.
Oh shit.
Um,
Oh shit.
there was I'll go Mary nachos, Polly hot dog.
Great.
I gotta I'll fuck the popcorn and kill the pretzel.
Wow.
Yeah.
Okay.
Hard choices. Some serious Sophie's
Interesting.
snack choice happening.
Sophie's snack choice. I've never been to a wrestling game, but I would really love I would love to turn on the TV and see someone directly behind the guys. I'm just saying the guys or girls during a
Yeah.
tense moment eating nachos.
Dude, I was eating nachos. This was at a smaller show at the Globe Theater downtown. And this match was happening. And when we reviewed it on the We Watch Wrestling podcast, I was like, yeah, it was good. It wasn't great. And then this guy, Dave Meltzer, who does star ratings for wrestling matches and has since the early 80s, gave it a 5-star match. Which was like, oh my God, it was a 5-star match. And I was like, honestly, I'll have to rewatch it. I was eating nachos and not paying attention to the match at all.
Oh my
was just kind of like, yeah. And the crowd, I remember and everybody in the crowd's going crazy. And I would look up and something had already happened. And I was like, whatever. And I'm just and it has become this kind of running thing of did McCarthy like the Will Ospreay match the other night, or was he getting into some nachos and couldn't see it?
Holy shit, that's so funny. I would also, I mean, it would be a double delight if it was you. If I was
my God.
I know that guy and he's eating nachos in the audience.
I'm like George Costanza with the hot fudge sundae at the tennis match.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly. That to me is so fucking funny.
Yeah.
I mean, the more elaborate too, the more hilarious it is to me. Imagine if someone was just eating sushi, something
Can I tell you?
stupid.
When we saw a show at Madison Square Garden a couple years ago, and they have a Boss sushi stand. And so we were sitting there, me and Vince, chowing down on sushi, watching the wrestling. It was the best.
That's so funny.
Yeah.
Is that the weirdest thing you ate during a wrestling match?
It must be,
What's the best thing?
It also might be the best thing. That sushi was so goddamn good. The Staples Center used to have a McDonald's in it. So sometimes I would rock out a quarter pounder with cheese and some McNuggets while watching, which was just delightful. The worst was at where was this? This was when they did the WrestleMania at in the Meadowlands, maybe. But they had the worst Philly cheesesteak I'd ever had in my life.
Oof.
And it wasn't even like it was like a cart. It wasn't like part of the
Mm.
concessions. It was like a cart in the middle of the fairway. And I was like, this
Right.
must be good.
Right.
Because it's like this guy got his little business in the building and it was fucking dog shit.
That's really disappointing.
Really brutal. Yeah.
That's really disappointing. I love that you tried it though.
We figured we're in New Jersey. We're not that far from Pennsylvania. It's got to be,
Yeah.
I'm sure as shit.
I know. I haven't heard the Meadowlands referenced in a minute. So,
I know. It's definitely not called that anymore. I can't even think of what the stadium's called.
I don't know. I love when they rename stadiums though, because specifically I heard an ad on the radio today that was like the crypto.com arena. And I like that will never not be so funny.
It's so embarrassing.
So funny.
When they renamed the Providence Civic Center, the Dunkin' Donuts Center, I'm still embarrassed.
No, that's actually really dope, in my opinion.
Well, then, you know what everybody calls it?
What?
The Dunk.
Okay, see, I mean, that's not bad. But like, imagine, is there a Wetzel's Pretzel Stadium?
Right. Right. The Tutti Frutti Fresh and Fruity Memorial Coliseum doesn't have
exactly. Or you're just like, or what is it? Like Auntie Anne's Stadium?
Oh my God. Right.
There's so many brands you could do that with. But it's like obviously like the major corporations like AT&T, which we've just gotten so used to. Staples is a weird one.
I know.
I'm shocked they're not out of business.
What's wild too is like near where I grew up, Great Woods became a tweeter center, and then tweeter center, like they went out of business, and then I think it may have gone back to just being Great Woods again.
Interesting.
How often does that happen?
I mean, I like that sports stadiums or stadiums in general are just so shameless about. They're like, yeah, we will literally name it anything that gives us the most money.
Yeah. Yeah.
They just do not fucking care. I want to see Jeff Bezos Stadium.
Oh my God, it's got to be coming, right? Don't give him any ideas.
No, not even Amazon. I want it literally out of his pocket. I want Jeff Bezos Stadium.
God, the Bezos Dome, which would be hilarious if it was a dome because he's like outrageously bald.
Yeah, no, I agree because his head is a dome and there's nothing inside normally except for men playing football. Okay, so here's your last category. And again, this is just me pretending I know what I'm talking about. This last category is called What My Kid Didn't Finish.
All right.
So this is just from what I know from friends that are parents. Okay. We have a fruit roll up, which by the way, if you're a child and can't finish your fruit roll up, go away. I don't want to fucking know you. Okay, so here's the next. Chicken fingers, approximately 1.5 chicken fingers. Applesauce, which I would also not finish. And Welch's fruit snacks.
This one feels easy.
Really?
Yeah. Well, I'm gonna finish somebody's fucking applesauce. That's horrifying. That's horrifying.
I mean, you wouldn't take a spoonful?
No, because you don't know where the applesauce ends and the saliva begins.
Oh God, I didn't even. Aren't you eating your kids' saliva all the time anyway? Isn't
not
that
when
like...
I can help it? There's a pandemic.
Oh yeah, I forgot.
But God, I can't even imagine like how much of the applesauce is just like at a certain point the kid's like, I'm done, and then spits out the rest back into the bowl. There's no.
Oh, I didn't even know that was a thing.
You can tell what's chewed up chicken finger and what's still good.
Yeah, that
Oh
makes
yeah.
sense. That totally makes sense.
So I'm going Mary the chicken finger,
Okay.
Polly the uh what was besides the fruit? Oh, the fruit snack.
Welch's fruit snack
Yeah, the Welch's fruit
specifically.
snack. Fuck the fruit roll up, kill the applesauce. Yeah.
Okay, interesting. I feel like I would feel similarly.
Yeah.
Um, However, I would marry the Welch's fruit snacks just because 'cause they're so good.
So good.
And I would poly with the chicken fingers because 'cause you've got a little sweet, you need a little savory.
Right.
I would fuck the fruit roll up,
Yes.
and I would have you had fruit roll-ups as an adult, by the way, recently?
Yeah, definitely. And it's too there's not an like I feel like I'm more hungry after I've had the fruit roll up.
Thank you.
There's nothing there.
Amen. Amen.
If
I
I could
mean,
keep it rolled up without the wax paper, I could at least I feel like I'm eating something.
exactly, and I wonder if it would be I guess it's technically a fruit by the foot, but because the
Right.
fruit roll-ups were the ones that, like, you could turn into a pizza and shit,
Right.
but which I, by the way, loved. But yeah, I agree. I bought Fruit by the Foot because they had a strawberry starburst flavor, and I was like, "This is gonna be great." And I was so frustrated. I couldn't get enough in my face at once
Right.
for it to feel satisfying, and I was like, "Fuck this. No child even deserves this."
That's one of the things I like. It's one of my problems with French fries. I can never get a big enough handful to like feel like
Mm.
I'm like biting into something.
Even
There's
steak fries?
steak fries is a different story. That's why steak fries I can actually chow down on.
No, I think steak fries are bad unless they have a very crisp exterior.
See, but I grew up in New England, so it's like there was a lot of fries floating around. Like if it was like
Mhm.
you could like fish and chips meant
Right.
steak fries, you know,
Sure. Or waffle fries. I mean, we don't see enough
also
waffle
great.
fries.
No, we do not.
Waffle fries are pretty fucking delicious. Or curly fries. Nick got Arby's the other day and on his birthday, and I was like, "Of course, curly fries."
Yeah,
I feel like you could
dude.
get them on Coney Island, right?
On the show, there's like a lot of scenes where I'm eating curly fries in the scene,
No.
and man, just sitting there chowing down on like cold curly fries.
Shit. Yeah, what's that like on set? I mean, did it start warm or were they just like, "You're a professional, eat these disgusting fries"?
Most stuff is starts warm. Like so there have been scenes where my character eats a lot. And so there are scenes where I'm like having a hot dog. And so it's got a
Great.
little warmth to it.
I should
There
have
was
done bowling alley snacks because that I'm aware of, and that I know because I
oh
grew up
right.
in bowling alleys.
Hmm.
Interesting. A pinball, you could just eat a pinball from the pinball machine. That'd be more my
That'd be
thing.
beautiful. Yeah.
Be beautiful. The fucking, God, those old-fashioned candy containers where you put a quarter in and then twist it and it clicks, and you have no idea how long that candy has been in there, but it comes
Right.
out of, like, the metal mouth,
Yes. I will
and they
always
would
go
just
for
have
one. Like if I'm at the mall and they have like the gumballs that are like painted like watermelons, I will
yeah.
always chow down on one of those. They're good for
I
about
love those
15
gumballs.
seconds. Yeah.
15 seconds. They always
Yeah.
had like, loose runts in there, which, like, for some reason was upsetting.
Yeah.
I don't know why. I was just like, you can't put it's like putting loose nerds in there. Like,
I
those are
saw
not protected enough.
I think it was on Vice. They just had like a 12-minute documentary about a guy in New York who, you know, owns those like the things we're talking about. You put the quarter in, you twist it, and you get like, you know, stickers or tattoos, but the little ball, like he did the toys, not the snacks.
Right.
And in his basement, he had like all like the toys that like didn't sell, and he's just like, it's all just gambling. He's like, I guess it's like any business. You buy a product and you hope people are into it, but he wouldn't stop like talking about the good old days when what were the little toys that like they all look like, they were all in like street gangs or something, like I don't know what they were called, like thugs or
Like the little the little men?
Yeah, little plastic toys. They all look like they were in like gangs. But that was like his golden era of like, I bought this house based on those things. Like you couldn't get, them in the thing fast enough.
Oh
What were they
my
called?
God.
Something like, something dumb like thugs or,
Something stupid. Something that you could
homies.
choke
They were
on.
called homies.
Oh, fuck, that's right. Wow, how mortifying that, but not surprising that exists in the fucking past.
I know.
Okay, so here, I mean, yeah, those are my choices too. Wait, did I already say my choices? Oh yeah,
Definitely.
I did. And then kill the applesauce, fuck the fruit roll up, marry Welch's fruit snacks.
Big time.
There's something about Welch's fruit snacks that are specifically delicious.
There's some secret ingredient
That's definitely not fruit juice.
No, sir.
Okay, well, Matt, you've been an incredible guest,
You've been an
and
incredible host.
thank you so much. And that was a sincere thank you so much. Thank you for being on the pod. Where can everybody find you? Plug all your shit. I'll also post it in the info.
I'm on all the best social media at McCarthy Redhead. We Watch Wrestling podcast on Wednesdays. Watch it with Matt and Glennis. We talk about movie and TV shows. Usually Mondays we put those up. And Thursday, March 31st on CBS, 9:30 p.m., How We Roll. Please tell everyone that you know.
Hell yeah. And you know that I will. And my listeners will do what they will.
You can listen to all my stand-up wherever you stream music, all that good stuff.
Yes. All of that. Okay, great. Well, thanks again, Matt. Also, thanks, guys, for listening. We appreciate it. Do all the good stuff that'll keep this podcast going. You don't even have to donate, which honestly, that's kind of me. And I'll see you next time.